welcome back to Comic Beyond. So in this episode we're going to be covering something a little different. It's not necessarily a comic, but it is a book. It's a novel. It's a Star Trek original series novel called No Place Like the Past. And what's unique about this book is it's got one of my favorite characters going back to see Captain Kirk and his crew, 7 of 9. So let's get into the story. The story is the Voyager crew are, researching this, abandoned ruins, on a planet. And as they're going through, they open up a portal, and 7 of 9 gets pulled into it. When she gets pulled in, she ends up in the original series era. So, where Kirk, he's actually trying to be like an ambassador, and he's trying to do like a little, like a meeting and have peace talks, stuff like that, where they're under attack, and he actually gets rescued by 7 of 9, because she's already been there for a little bit. So he gets her aboard the Enterprise, and of course he calls a meeting with McCoy and Spock, and at the time, they're the only ones that know she's a time traveler. Like, they keep it really, hush-hush, and they don't want to get out throughout the ship. So, they figure out that they actually need to find these relics. And what's cool about this book is they use planets that you would recognize or be familiar with from the original show. So, we kind of go on this adventure with them along with 7 of 9 to collect these relics. And ultimately, they of course return 7 of 9 back to her time. But before that, they realize they have a deadline. Like, they have to find these things really quick. Otherwise, she's going to be trapped here. And she's already kind of like, if I get stuck here, I get stuck here. But what's that have to do with the future? Like, how's that going to affect our future? But they get her back. And what I liked about this story, and as far as reading the book, it reads like an episode. So as I'm reading it, and, you're reading the dialogue of Kirk and Bones and Spock and all them, they hit it on the money, and these characters sounded like the characters, and it was, like I said, as if they plucked 7 of 9 and just stuck her in an episode from the original series. So I absolutely love this book. 7 of 9 is one of my favorite characters, and I believe in one of the past episodes I did where it was Star Trek Planet of the Apes, I actually said, the original crew, that's my Star Trek. I got into Star Trek by watching the original films and then going back and watching the old show. And, a lot of people love Picard. I love Picard. But Captain Kirk, William Shatner, he's always going to be my captain. And my Enterprise is always going to be, the original show Enterprise. So I love the crew, and being able to have two of my favorite things merge. And they can do that a lot with Star Trek, and I never thought I'd see it. And I actually found this at Books A Million. I was just kind of browsing, and so I just picked this book up, and I saw 7 of 9 on the cover, Captain Kirk's on the cover. I read the synopsis, I'm like, my lord, why didn't I know about this? Took it home, and started reading it. I had it, I think, done over a weekend. So it was a really, really good read. Like I said, this is different than what I normally cover. It's still technically a crossover. It's just novel form. There's actually a Star Trek X-Men crossover novel that I'll probably cover way down the road, because I actually have two issues, comic issues of Star Trek X-Men to cover first. The novel's actually the third part. I don't know why they made it into a novel instead of just doing another issue. But I love Star Trek. I really enjoyed this book. They do sell it at Books A Million. It is on Audible. You can find it. It's easy to get. And I think if you're a Star Trek fan and you're looking for some good Star Trek, this is something to check out. Not saying that, the Star Trek we have nowadays ain't good. I enjoy some of it. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people don't. But it's kind of scarce finding a good Star Trek nowadays. And so when you can find it, and you can find, to me, a gem like this, I suggest checking it out, man, because you're going to really enjoy it. And like I said, if you're sitting down and it's quiet and you just immerse yourself in it, you're going to feel like you're just watching an original series episode. There's other things I could have said about the story, but I don't. One of my policies, I guess, as far as covering stuff and reviewing stuff, I leave out certain things because I want you to discover them on your own. Um, I know people don't like to be spoiled. I don't necessarily like to be spoiled on stuff, but I like knowing enough to pique my interest to go out and check it out. And so that's what I'm doing with this. Hopefully, the snippets I told you about were enough to entice you to want to check it out. And help with that, actually, one of my favorite things about the book, besides Kirk interacting with Seven of Nine, of course, Star Trek fans know Seven of Nine is probably one of the most attractive characters in Star Trek. And so pitting her with Kirk, and him being the ladies' man he was back in the day, they have an interesting dynamic. Her interaction with Spock's pretty interesting because her herself operates off logic. So her banter is pretty funny. I love her little pieces of dialogue she throws back and forth with McCoy. So definitely suggest checking it out. And if you do like it, leave a comment. Let me know you checked it out, man, because it's a good book, good read. And like I said, you could probably finish it over the weekend, depending on how fast a reader you are or how much you're enjoying it. So that's this episode. I just wanted to cover it, and I might do different things like covering some like novels on the channel. But yeah, it's cool, man. Definitely check it out. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.